Hey, time out. Hold on. I ain't even speak to Eric yet. Eric, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing
I
well.
didn't even realize he was there.
You did
Didn't even see him.
because you weren't here last week, and I was annoyed. I said this man like how you hibernated. I don't even not even slept. You hibernated last week.
I am.
Wait,
I was extremely tired.
I was there, right? For a little bit, right? I
Yeah,
Yeah,
was.
you were, and you said you were gonna be back, and then you just like the
I don't
avatar.
even remember
he was
what
definitely on the
happened.
phone. He was definitely on the phone with you.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. Yes. That's what happened. That's exactly. Wait.
He was on the phone with your girl. Come on.
Yeah, she had a moment. Yeah, I had to.
man,
She
listen.
just lost. She just lost her brother a couple months ago. And so yeah, she had a moment.
Oh, my condolences.
My
Right.
condolences. Man.
Nah,
That was my OG.
my job is very demanding when it wants to be.
Wait, this is the new.
And you also
Mhm.
just moved too, so you got to get used to that schedule too.
Oh no, my body's getting used to it now. But like,
'Cause before
I
you-
haven't worked overnights in like 5 years.
I love overnights. I can do everything. Yo, you
I-
have a whole lane. I was supposed to say, what the fuck are you shooting for? You have a whole lane, bro.
But
I'm saying,
yeah, working 6 p.m. to 4:30 in the morning is very demanding, and then
But I
being
can
on
do
your
that. I can do that.
but you on your feet constantly, and you only
Yeah.
get 2 30-minute breaks.
I didn't get that. I used to work from 2 in the afternoon all the way to like 7 in the morning.
Couldn't be me.
That was Coca-Cola. That's slavery, bro.
But
hey, man,
What?
yeah,
What?
and
Okay. Hello, folks.
yeah,
This
Nah,
is
real shit.
man.
this is what happens when we're preparing for the show. We just that's all right. We'll see you in 30. Yeah, see you in 30.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola was definitely slavery.
30. Yep, 30
All right,
right now.
guys.
Press the
We'll see you
button.
guys in 30. Peace.
We're brothers, we're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
All right, cut and print. Beautiful, guys. Dynamite. That is.
You watching that?
Yeah. Just it's on
Watching right
the
now?
phone. Anyway, welcome to episode 175 of the BrawlCast. I'm your host and moderator, the People's Champion. Today, my name is Hingle McCringleberry. And today I'm joined by Thumb Thuggin, aka the Dynamite Kid, aka Saw Forrest. And we got a full crew today. The good boys are back. We got BK Matt, aka Mr. Hennessy Bobby Brown. The Knicks up 3-1 against the Detroit Pistons out here. And of course, the Diamond Cutter, aka Grizzly Rhodes. And this week his name is Mr. I can't even say that right.
the bottom bitch theory.
Bottom bitch theory. It's the bottom
Yeah,
bitch
it's the
theory.
bottom bitch theory, man.
I know all of. Well,
Oh,
I don't know
oh,
which one you're talking about.
What's good, GC? Been a long time, man. So he need your flowers. Oh, okay.
You talking about me? You talking about Grace?
I think I know what he's talking about in terms of like
Nah,
WrestleMania.
something he predicted.
Yeah, something he predicted. I think I know what you're talking about, man.
The
But
bottom bitch theory, man. Yeah, man.
But yeah,
Wait, you a
man.
bottom bitch.
Anyway, guys, we are live. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on X, aka Twitter. Please like, share, subscribe on our YouTube channel at The Backstage Brawl. We're live on Facebook at The Backstage Brawl and Twitter at Backstage_Brawl. And guys, it's been a week in WWE as WrestleMania 41 came and gone. But before then, man, it's been over a week. Let's check in with the vibe. How we feeling today in this room today?
The Knicks fucking won. I'm excited. I'm fucking stoked right now.
You
First
sound
off, I
like-
want to say, fuck you, Detroit.
Yeah.
Fuck you, referees, because this shit was bullshit.
It was 8 on
I
5
ain't gonna-
today. It was 8 on 5.
It was bullshit. The whole
It
fucking.
was 8 on 5.
Yeah, because I'm just saying. I better not hear not near another one of you motherfuckers sit there talking about something he got fouled. when they were getting hacked the whole fucking game and the referees let them play. They ain't like Brunson literally damn near got hurt and they still didn't call a fucking foul. I don't want to hear shit. Fuck them. Don't care. We won. Backstage Brawl is live. Shout out to Clyde. Knicks in 5. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Yes.
That's the energy. Quickly, GC said he said he was right about Josh Alexander showing up in AEW. I agree with you. I didn't disagree with you with that. It might have been somebody else up in here.
I'm a little disappointed in that, but
they need a shot of Red Bull because AEW is lacking.
I'm not.
I'm a little disappointed in that.
MJF trying to get a black card is disturbing to me. That's just
this is for the niggas, strictly for the niggas. So, you know what I'm saying?
How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling great. You know, I echo the same sentiments. You know, Knicks in 5. We going back to the Garden. You know, feeling good. Elimination game. Other than that, I do have a little bit of news. My family is growing. I will be getting a little doggy in about 2 weeks. Pit bull dog.
Oh, I was about to say, nigga, wait a minute. Like, how did like that? Nigga, that was fast.
I thought you were talking about a human. I was concerned.
I was about to say,
no, I shoot blanks, man. Come on.
You say that now until when you
wait. Why? Next topic.
Yo, Ty, I'm telling you, like Grizz gonna be in like 2 weeks, like Stu. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them.
Oh no!
No, I'm not gonna be like that. I'm just saying,
pop out and show niggas infertile. What?
My God.
I'm just saying.
I thought we left this in the past. No,
I'm just saying. I shoot
she knocked out right now.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas infertile. What?
Nah, well. He said that. I'm just saying.
I did not say that.
I'm just saying.
Yo, I love how
I got a gun with no bullets. That's all.
Yo, me and Ty was saying like, wait a minute. Why did that just happen just now? Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas infertile. That will live on in infamy, bro.
I got a gun with no bullets. That's exactly what it is. So,
well, you can never get locked up. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Even if it's just assault. Even if it's just assault. It's not a deadly weapon if the clip ain't loaded. It's just my thing.
You feel me?
Next topic.
Just as long as no one around here is acting like on the show. Anyway.
No.
About the phone.
Anyway,
you
yo, man.
Sharp fan.
Hey, listen, man. It's a
No.
whole mess. It's a whole mess.
No.
It's a whole mess.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Let's go.
No.
Yeah, no. All right. Anyway, man.
This is Harry Potter.
What
the fuck is this? No, the commercial. What the fuck is this?
Oh my God.
All these damn dragons and shit. What's this about?
Jesus Christ. Anyway, yo, man. Before we get to WrestleMania recap, man, let's just talk about the WWE TLC match real quick. This is the only icebreaker question of the show. Would the TLC match that we saw on SmackDown, which I felt was match of the year for SmackDown, do you think that match being added? Do you think that match being added to, if it was added to WrestleMania, do you think it would have changed or added to how WrestleMania turned out?
Night 2, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Night 2 could have needed a little bit of off to it because the way they ended was just like.
I think Night 2. Well, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that in the recap. But in terms of the match itself, like, did you think like the way if it happened the exact same way with the prosthetic leg and everything, do you think it would have turned out the same? Do you think it would have been, it would have made Mania a lot better?
Why is everybody so stuck with a prosthetic leg? It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that deep.
No. What do you mean it wasn't that deep? It added to them. It was fun. It was fan interaction. They were interacting with the fans, and it added to that match too.
Let me put it to you like this. All right, so let me tell you something.
GC said it would have made it better. Yeah.
I think that the match itself, before we even saw what happened, it should have been on WrestleMania. There's no reason why the match couldn't have been on WrestleMania. Because as far as I'm concerned, They had no excuses to not put the T, the L, and the C on WrestleMania. There's
Night
no,
two.
not night one. No, I'm telling you,
Night,
not one right now.
we disagree.
But we disagree, but you didn't hear my reasons yet. You didn't hear my
Let
reasons.
me hear your reasons. Let's see your reasons.
But we got to get to the next topic before you hear the reasons.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't drink around me. You gonna, it's not gonna work out well for you. Don't drink around me.
Really, Ty?
Don't drink around. I'm just saying. As many times as you press the pause button, you ain't gonna be able to press it quick enough if you drink around me. Because
Are you sure?
you're gonna have it's gonna backfire on you. I'll tell you, it's gonna backfire on you.
Why do you sound like Dusty Rhodes right now?
Why your photo
I just
that?
asked that. Like, what is
Why's your photo that?
Okay, so I'll change it.
Do that.
He's all about my shit. If that happens, Zach
Did
Gallen
Stu
gave
dr-
it like
Did Stu drink that shit?
No.
you know,
No.
Don't do that. Don't no, don't do that.
If Zach Gowen gave him the prosthetic leg, that would have been funny. That would have been
funny.
that would have been a crazy callback that we
I
wouldn't.
I wouldn't have understood it. I just been like, why is he here?
Yeah, that
Right.
that would have been an Easter egg, if anything. But
That
yeah,
would have been funny seeing him just.
I like
be
the
over there.
placement in that. I like that move. I like the way you just did that just now. That was the one because it was Easter. You know, I got it. We here. I like that one.
thank you.
Anyway, man, let's just get to the WrestleMania recap in terms of why we're here. We're here to talk WrestleMania and all that extra shit. So guys, what y'all think about WrestleMania, man? From between nights 1 and night 2, I know there's been a lot of conflicting, I'd say criticisms.
Put up Tommy Pickles now. I want a Burger King sandwich. I'm about this one, but
Yo.
Tommy
Does
Pickles,
Eric-
though, Gris.
Jesus
Tommy
Christ.
Pickles.
Listen,
Why Tommy Pickles?
Side note, they fucked that up. There was definitely some fuck ups, especially night 2 main event. But
Eric, that's your point, man.
I feel like this episode is gonna get volatile between me and Ty because I'm not concurring with him that night 1 was.
You heard me
all
out.
right. So Betty, our first question of the WrestleMania recap: which night was the better night? Ty
Night
says
1.
night 2.
I say night 2.
Ty says
Why?
night 2.
Y'all can't be Jack and John Cena this much that y'all think night 2 was better.
That's
You act like that was the only thing that was on night 2.
Right.
All right. So
Jacob
let
and
me
LA
hear.
Knight had a good match.
No,
They had a damn good match.
As many
Damn
times
good match.
I want you to tell me why night 1.
No, you start first. You start first.
You know what the problem?
Said you hit me with the night 2 is better than night 1. I'm like, wait a minute.
I just said I
Did we see
didn't
the
like
same
night
show?
1. I said I didn't like night 1. That's all I said. I didn't say.
Why you didn't like night 1?
Why do you like night 1?
Well, they started off the show with a party. I mean, granted, Jay didn't celebrate like how I wanted him to celebrate. But the crowd was hot. The card was hot. The matches was great. The main event was even better. Like, what do we like? What disappointing factors did we have on night 1? I didn't have any.
Night 1 felt flat for me after a while. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay. Can I ask why?
Okay, so we start off with Jay and Gunther.
Mhm.
They told that story perfectly.
They did that match
Fuck
right.
they did.
They did it damn right.
The
Damn
fuck?
good.
No, they did not.
Time. Ty, why did they not do that match right? Go.
It's not a matter of if the match. I'll put it to you this way. This has been my thing with Triple H's booking for some time, or at least the booking we've seen under Triple H.
Because we're going to get into that today, that aspect of it.
It's not so much the fact that what they chose isn't valid. It's when you look at the pool of different options they had, they always pick the weakest one.
What?
Yes, they always pick
What
the
do
weakest.
What do you mean by that? Tom?
What do I mean by that?
Yes.
When you look at the different scenarios that could have been chosen for a specific decision, a lot of times, let's say there are 5 scenarios on a priority list of 5. So they're ranked 1 to 5. Triple H ends up picking 4 or 5 when he could have picked 1, 2, or 3 in terms of what were the best options or the better things they could have did.
Okay.
The thing about it, that the reason why nobody complains is because all 5 are valid to the story. It's not like they don't make sense. But when you consider you could have got a better outcome, that's the issue. So, for example, in the case of Gunther and Jey Uso, that match could have had other elements to it that could have increased the intensity and the emotion of the match even before the final decision was made. For example, as we saw after the matchup, Jimmy Uso is apparently fine, right?
He's got his ass beat.
Jimmy Uso is apparently fine and was able to do the celebration at the end. The celebration at the end is perfect. That's
Wasn't
perfect.
that like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yes. Which means that if Jimmy Uso was available to be used, why didn't they have a scenario, especially since Gunther had to cheat during the match, where Jimmy Uso came in and got his lick back or tried to even the odds against Gunther?
Want to answer that?
Go for it.
Because the whole point of it is to establish Jey Uso as a main event player, a world champion, not excluding Jimmy in the story because he was used in the story, but it was used as an emotion ploy in the story for him to get his mind right to the battle of what he was going to be facing, which is Gunther. He's already lost to Gunther.
I'm not going to say no. What I am saying,
why would you need a cheating element for him to win the title?
Why?
It's not really a cheating
It wasn't a cheating element. It was an evening. I said evening of the odds. For example, Gunther had to bring the championship into play despite his dominance to go up against Jey, which, in all honesty, considering he's beaten Jey clean before, yes, Jay's bringing a different intensity. Yes, 3 times. Granted, Jay is bringing a certain level of intensity. I'm not saying no. What I am saying is that considering the options that were there, you could have had a situation where Gunther was going for the championship and he had a hold of it, but someone was tugging the title away from him. You have Jimmy stopping the situation, and then you have Jimmy ringside cheering on Jay, getting the crowd even more excited than they already were to amplify the situation. Also, the match itself. There were some structural issues I had with the match because it seemed as though things didn't really seem to pick up until the third quarter of the match. Because at the beginning of the matchup, it felt very discombobulated, and they were trying to figure certain things out.
Talking about the hope spot. We're talking about the hope spot.
A little bit before the hope spot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more so what I mean by that in general. Now, I can't remember. Are Gunther and Ludwig still associated with each other?
Yes.
I don't even know.
Yes,
I don't even know.
They're loosely tied to each other right now.
Why I say that? Because he had A-Town down under going against the Usos. So, I mean,
Fair enough.
I don't know. Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and say we could have had a tit for tat. I'm not going to book that. And it's like, oh, Ludwig comes out and then Jimmy comes out. That would be in a perfect scenario, but there wasn't a perfect scenario. But what I am saying is that considering how the match kind of went and how sloppy it was for a while, I understand that the crowd compensates for a lot of people on it because they're like, well, the crowd was still into it. It's like, yeah.
Very much into it. I was into it too.
You can have the crowd into it, but considering Jay had a lot to prove from last year after getting his time cut, feel like it should have been more polished than what we got. Like situations happen, but I think even considering, the nervousness and the jitters, because I know Jay had jitters going into it, I still feel like it could have been a better match out of that. Like no one's expecting a 10 out of 10. I didn't want a 10 out of 10. What I wanted was at least a 7.
For the opener of the night, I feel like we got what we were asking for with that. It was opening the show. So with that being said, I get what you're saying, but it played into the story, which was Jay overcoming the odds because he wasn't supposed to win the Royal Rumble. He wasn't supposed to be going for the world title at WrestleMania. He wasn't supposed to choose Gunther, being that he lost to him 3 times in a row. He's overcoming the odds to prove that he is the guy. Right? He's not a tag team player. He is a main event player. He's different from Jimmy Uso. He is main event Jey Uso. So that story played into what it was supposed to. It wasn't supposed to be clean. We don't ever really get clean opening world title matches in WrestleMania history. We got Daniel Bryan fucking getting his ass beat by Sheamus.
Well, I'm not saying. Well, actually, I can't necessarily agree with that completely. What I am saying is it could have been smoother. Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it had to be. Let me rephrase. Not
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be completely clean. It could have been smoother. Is all I'm saying.
You mean the match?
So
Or you talking about the story?
No, the match. That's what I'm saying. The match, not the story. The story. Well, the story I have my issues with because they didn't really put enough emphasis on it till later in the story, which I feel like wasn't the best option because you should have just kept it consistent throughout. Personally,
Mhm.
that's more so on them getting lackadaisical. But I'm saying the match could have been a bit smoother. Again, it's not a matter of a 5-star classic. It's more so like considering the elements that they had. I felt like they had to find themselves in the middle of the match, which I didn't think was the best luck they had. That's what I'm saying. Eric, my bad. Yeah, that was supposed to be your whole tangent. I
No,
didn't.
I mean you basically said everything I was gonna say anyway. But yeah, I didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not. Now that I see what the long term booking is with Gunther getting choked out. I know Matt probably doesn't appreciate it.
What?
So basically, Gunther tapping out, and then McAfee and Cole talking shit on commentary or doing their job is basically leading to a Gunther Pat McAfee match eventually.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Okay,
I wasn't the biggest fan of that ending, to be honest with you.
I wasn't either.
Of the match or him and McAfee?
No.
The ending of the match, because it wasn't so much like Gunther getting submitted. To me, it reminded me a bit of like Asuka and Charlotte, where I was like, okay, we didn't
Cut that shit
necessarily
off.
have to, it didn't have to do that. We didn't have to do it that way. I saw the choke. It wasn't a clean choke. I mean, it was a sloppy choke. But even the pause. But even then, what do you
That was
call
crazy.
it?
That was crazy.
I caught myself.
That was wild.
Oh,
But
You saw it too, right? You saw it too, right? You seeing it too? Are you watching it? You're watching it. I know you're watching it.
I think they're also witnessing the game at this point. But yeah,
Oh
I didn't
my
like.
God.
I know some people were like, "Well, it's actually in Gunther's character to get choked out," which is a crazy sentence, mind you.
Ant-Man just
But
heard me.
they said they brought up the Elia thing. The reason why the Elia thing worked was because the match intensity matched the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, and even then, I remember Eric wasn't a big fan of Gunther getting choked out then by Elia. But in the same regard, like this match, it didn't. I would have rather.
Hold that thought.
I'll
But go ahead,
pass on that. Willie G needs to sit his ass home. I do not need to see that at all.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen with that. But go
Grizz,
ahead,
do not co-sign that shit. Don't
No, I'm not
co-sign that.
co-signing it.
You better not.
Oh,
I'm not co-signing it. But this is my thing. I think this was gonna happen.
it was his ankle.
This was gonna happen with the whole Gunther McAfee match. Goldberg is definitely gonna help him. You don't think that's gonna happen?
I would rather not.
I mean, I'd rather not too.
Hold on, GC. My point. GC said that he understood the ending, though. He said Gunther historically does quick taps to the sleeper hold.
That is true, but the thing is that
How the fuck are we supposed to know that?
He tapped out once, and it was to Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov can't work out like a regular human. What are you talking about?
He damn sure does.
Dragunov and Jey Uso are two different people. They're two different matches. So
two different motivations too.
Come on, Ant, get up. Ant, get up.
So if you're gonna have a match, you're gonna have to match the intensity, which is basically what Tyler is saying. The intensity didn't match the ending.
Oh my God.
It's like the ending for it could have been just a little bit different. Now, if Gunther would have got pinned, okay, cool, no problem. I ain't got no issues with that. I think more people would appreciate the pin more than they would appreciate the tap.
You agree with that, Ty? Do you agree with the fact that
I do.
had the pin happen?
Thank God he's walking.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with that. Because had the scenario been like I said, similar to Asuka and Charlotte WrestleMania 34, it was one of those situations where it was like, you didn't have to do it that way. Like if the whole point was for someone to lose, just have them lose. When you make somebody tap out, it's such a definitive ending that it's kind of like, all right, well, it's going to be harder to bounce back from that.
Exactly. And you got to look at Gunther as a character. Gunther as a character is this unbeatable person. That's the portrayal, right? He's unbeatable. He wins clean. He's the only heel that really doesn't have to cheat to beat your ass and win this title or retain the title.
Well, I mean, he cheated during the title match.
He cheated during the title match. That's number one. He cheated during the title match. And then after the fact, that's when I felt like you needed to get pinned instead of you needed to tap out. Because tapping out makes you look weaker. Now, how am I, the person that watches wrestling day in and day, well, night in, night out when it comes on? The person that watches wrestling, how am I supposed to convince somebody that this is who he says he is, but he tapped out? It's a weak move. More people would appreciate the fact of, okay, he got pinned, whatever, blah, blah, blah. There's so many heels that have got pinned in the past and they bounced back. How many heels or even faces have bounced back from a title?
All right, I'm not gonna. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. I don't mean to do this, but look, anybody can get got. Anybody can get caught. Let's put that up. Anybody can get caught. It's the way the way he got caught was not my favorite way of doing it. That was my main issue. Because here's the thing: Gunther could get tapped out in a matchup. That's fine. It's how he got caught that bothered me more so than anything. So
you go next, Matt, because we do got to get off this this match. And
we got to go.
No, it's the levy of what Grizz is saying and what who's that? That was the post that just said that Gunther shouldn't have tapped out.
The Chokeslam Wrestling.
Okay, shout out to the Chokeslam Wrestling Report podcast. But Brock Lesnar tapped out. Is he still not a badass?
Yeah, Brock bounced back. That's the thing.
But so why are we sitting here lagging like Gunther's not going to bounce back?
It depends because honestly, let's.
He just said he said it made him look weak.
It didn't make Brock Lesnar look weak because Brock Lesnar was wrecking everybody and everything.
Let's go this route. Let's go.
Now the way in which it happens can have different effects on different people. Like not every submission victory can be weighted the same way. So I understand.
Have you ever been choked out? You ever been put in the chokehold?
The last time I got nerve damage. Can't control it.
You know what?
It's a headlock, bro. We're all like, come on. Ain't nobody weak from tapping out from a fucking like a headlock. Sorry. What you did? You passed out? You was stone cold. You was bleeding. You was bleeding. It was dripping through your teeth.
Hey. Oh, what? Matt.
I'm just saying. Nobody's weak from tapping out from a chokehold.
Well, Asuka didn't tap out from a chokehold. She tapped out from a figure 8, and Asuka has not really recovered.
It's not the same.
All right, can we move on from this match because we only just one match in this WrestleMania recap, man. There's other matches.
Still got to prove to me how night one was
so let's stick to night one. All right, so
next is the New Day in the War Raiders.
If we went by match,
we got time. Smart decision. New Day should have won because they needed that shot in the arm in the tag division on Raw. So
nobody's saying that it wasn't a smart decision.
That's what I'm saying. You're going down night one and make it make sense on how night two was better.
All right, let me just put my
tap in for this, man.
Please tag in.
I said it during the predictions. I wouldn't be surprised if New Day won.
We were right with all our predictions.
I cleaned the clock at that point. I will say with this, winning wasn't a shock. Do I feel bad for the War Raiders? Yeah, because I wish more about the War Raiders. The way that they handled the New Day for months, where they started off hot and got cooled off in between, that's on the company. So the fact that they had to win a championship to compensate is messed up, in my opinion. That's kind of messed up. So I wasn't shocked, but it was what it was. It was a standard tag match. And the reason when you brought up the tag match on SmackDown, I want people to understand I wanted both tag matches on night one. Okay, I wanted both of them, and the reason why I wanted both of them is because New Day can handle a crowd on their own. They can get the crowd invested on their own, but the crowd was not that invested in the War Raiders, and this was a scenario where I would have liked to have had both, but if you had to choose which one would have been better for the crowd, which one would have been better for the Mania moment, which one would have been better in general, if you have a gun to your head and you pick which tag match would have been better for Mania, TLC tag made sense. And honestly, I feel bad because last year we had a multi-person ladder match. WrestleMania historically has had multi-person ladder matches for good reason and for no reason. So the TLC wasn't added to either night of WrestleMania is a travesty before we even saw the TLC happen.
I don't want Burger King.
Before we even saw it, because everyone's going to say now, yeah, they should have put on. I was saying it before that. Because why would we not have a multi-person TLC?
You did say it. You said
You've
it
been
last
saying
week.
that.
He did. He said it on the pre-show.
We said
He said it on the pre-show.
It's just like
He
why?
did say it on the pre-show. I remember.
We said it during the build that the fact that they should
Grizz.
add something.
Pizza Hut or Burger King right now.
Built up SmackDown, like compare Raw's tag division to SmackDown's in the past couple months in terms of how they built up every team, made every team feel included, made every team feel important.
SmackDown's got the edge.
Like, come on now. So no offense to New Day and the War Raiders, but if you wanted to talk about this night one is full of TV matches and Raw and SmackDown, this was one of those where you could have swapped it out for the other thing. If you go to Jade Cargill and Naomi, I had a feeling Jade was going to win.
I mean, look, we all knew that, but
We
I
all
was,
did,
but I will say in that
We
this
were
is
wrong about
probably
one
the
thing.
most comfortable. This is probably the most comfortable I've seen Jade in a ring since she's began wrestling.
I hate
I said this, and a lot of people disagreed with me. This is probably her best wrestled match.
Oh no, don't wrong. She followed it up by going against Tiffany on SmackDown too,
and killed it. But still, you want to know why?
Why?
Want to know why? She's in WWE, not in AEW.
All right.
Oh my God! Ty tagging.
Wait, Matt.
Tagging Ty.
We ain't even get to the real petty part yet.
Set the table, Ty. Set the table, Ty.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Grizz, Pizza Hut or Burger King? I'm trying.
Ty, tag in.
I'm trying. Listen, I thought the match was good. I think that they did a really good job. I wish Naomi would have got the victory because I wish they would have gotten more out of the story in a way where both people would have felt like equals as opposed to one feeling like they're chasing the other.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. I will say the fact that we have to say this is the most comfortable that Jade has looked in the ring in itself as a sentence kind of concerns me. Not because she isn't earning her way into the ring, but it's more so, put it to you like this. Jade earning herself into the ring in the situation she's in, she's doing a good job. I don't like the idea of people like getting put at the forefront when they're not properly ready in general as a system thing, like a systemic.
So for you would like to see, which I think either way in that particular match, there's no wrong answer. Because if you have Naomi go over, like you said, you keep that storyline going, which for the most part it's still going after WrestleMania. It's still going. Like, you still got
Naomi, who
I don't get that.
You still got Naomi, who's
the way she was attacking Jade, and like they dumped it over with like EDM music, which was
you still got Naomi,
and her theme song too.
You still got Naomi attacking Jade Cargill. You still got the Bianca aspect into all of it, element into all of it. So I mean, the storyline is still going on. To be honest with you,
I don't know,
which we were wrong about because we thought it was going to end if Jade won the title. Not the title, if she won the match. We all said that.
But that's the point. That's the point of what Tyler is saying, though.
No, that's the point of what I'm saying is this. I'm gonna bring it back to a conversation that I know Randy would hate for me to bring up, but I have to.
Listen, I'm getting Pizza Hut.
Bro, just get Pizza Hut.
That's what I'm thinking.
This is ridiculous. I'll put it to you. Just because a storyline continuing is the bare minimum. Okay, let me explain why this sucks. Randy Orton versus Christian. A lot of people praise that feud, not because of the feud, but because of the matches. If you look at the feud back, literally, it's just Christian not getting over things, and it didn't help Christian completely in the long run either, because he spent most of the feud getting beat by Randy Orton. The same thing. You will. If you go back, you will. And the fact that you don't remember it goes to show you it didn't really help Christian. If you go back even farther in SmackDown's history, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, you spent most of that feud having Eddie lose, and it just became redundant after a certain point. People need to win at the right times. Just because the feud continues afterwards doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing.
That's true.
It can really harm the story more than help it.
Just the story, but the person involved, because Jade's going to be fine no matter what. You can see they're prioritizing Jade. Naomi is still waiting on her just due. So
from what? She's a 2-time champion. Due from what?
You don't think she should be champion again?
You don't think she should be
I'm
champion
not
again?
saying that, but I'm just saying I can understand that she was the Lena Vega at this point, where she's now getting a damn title.
Congratulations, by the way. It's about
Shout
damn
out to
time.
Queens get the money. I'm happy for y'all. Your borough needed it. But I'm just saying, I can understand if it was that situation. Naomi has been at the dance. She's won a title at WrestleMania. We got to stop making it seem like Naomi's having a shitty ass career because she's not.
Can you remember? Can you? No.
I'm saying go. Like
so wrestling is. I'm talking to Matt. Wrestling very much, just as much as WrestleMania. Not WrestleMania. Well, I guess WrestleMania. Just as much as wrestling is about the moments, it's also about the payoffs, right?
Thanks.
Can you remember? Can you remember anything substantial from either of Naomi's title reigns?
You talking about like storylines?
Storylines, feuds, matches. Can you remember anything substantial?
She got hurt, had to give up the title, and then she won it back at WrestleMania. I can remember that.
Can you remember what happened after she won after WrestleMania?
After she won the WrestleMania? No, I really don't. I don't even remember who she lost it to.
Okay, then. That's my point. You can win the championship. Asuka has literally every single accolade under the sun, and most people can't remember anything but her NXT title reign. You can win the big one. You can be given the moment, but if you don't put any effort into it or out of it, nothing comes from it, and that's on the company. That's what I'm saying. Like, just because something happened doesn't mean that it was important. Because you can say, because what's the difference between Gunther's Intercontinental title reign and Michael McGillicuddy's Intercontinental title reign with Curtis Axel? They both won the Intercontinental title, right? But do you remember Curtis Axel's Intercontinental Championship reign?
I barely remember Curtis Axel.
Okay,
Curtis Axel's still in the Royal Rumble.
You're doing the work for me. Let's head to.
Yeah.
Speaking Griff.
So before we talk about the main event, is there anything else from night one that basically stood out, or you felt like
the Fatu and LA Knight was cool?
Fatu, yeah, they had some really good spots.
They had a really good match.
They had a really good match.
LA showed the fuck out.
No. El Grande Toto Americano.
That was an underrated. Like, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that match. I'm not gonna lie. That was like that was my personal favorite match. The shit that he was doing, the freaking reverse 054.
Chad Gable being in this situation is bittersweet for me because he had a great show in the Mania, but this man should not be in this spot in WrestleMania. He should be somewhere else to me.
No, look. Outside the semantics of where he should be, he fucking showed out.
And he strapped Charlotte.
That was a weird one.
That was weird.
That was a weird one for me.
Okay,
because
y'all about to be proud of me again.
This oh boy. This is probably Charlotte's worst match to me. This is probably one that I would never watch back and be like, yeah, this hit. Nah,
it was a lot.
It was first off, let's talk about the look in the ring, right?
They were matching in colors.
They were matching down to a T.
That's fine. That's
blonde. Yeah, but you gotta have.
What are we talking about?
Hold on.
Tiffany and Charlotte.
Hold on. You gotta have some type of. Everybody has to feel different. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I believe that. Because if I'm watching something, if I'm watching two of the same people, it's the fucking Spider-Man. I don't want to.
The whole
feud. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, basically.
So to mention, Charlotte had blue on. You could tell it was Charlotte. Charlotte had blue on. Y'all know. Don't do this. This wasn't a typical
a typical Charlotte match. This is honestly probably her worst one, if not the worst, because it looks sloppy. It really didn't. It kind of had a little bit of Jay and Gunther where they were trying to figure it out, but they just didn't figure it out. They didn't know how this was going to finish out. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you because, I worked the night before. I stayed up for most of it, but I definitely started falling asleep during this match because it wasn't what anyone expected.
That's how you know we getting old. You sleeping during WrestleMania?
Oh, I didn't. I woke up and the next thing you know, Tiffany was in the ring with the belt. And I was like, oh shit, she won. And I woke up in time for the main event. But
I woke up, she was dead.
You know what I'm saying? It was
with a chipped tooth.
Well, she said she didn't chip her tooth.
No.
I'm like, yo, does she have veneers in? Something happened?
Nah, she said she didn't chip her tooth. She didn't.
I saw it.
She didn't, bro.
It looked like
it looked gone. I'm like, she didn't have black lipstick. I'm trying to make it make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
She didn't. She said she didn't chip her tooth.
My girl even asked, like, is she missing a tooth? I said, I think so.
But
Charlotte was fucking her
this
up.
wasn't. Yeah, I think this was more so. This was Charlotte's worst match to me. I think she should Charlotte have been in this spot? Probably not. Probably not.
Why was it her worst match? Because it's not compared to a lot of. It's not comparing to nothing with Sasha.
I think it has a lot to do with one. She doesn't trust that knee just yet.
She doesn't.
She doesn't trust that knee because she looked very stiff in the ring. If you've because I'm a Charlotte fan, compared to her other matches where she's more loose and she's more free flowing with a lot of moves that she's done in the ring. This one, she kind of hesitated on a couple of spots. It was like, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should.
Especially that moonsault. She don't like landing on it.
She don't trust that knee yet, and you can tell.
Yeah, because she's it's the same thing that happened to Seth when he came back from the injury. He had to kind of get used to things, and I've watched him.
You gotta trust yourself.
More Charlotte than you, Eric, begrudgingly. I've watched even more Charlotte than you. That is her worst WrestleMania match since 36.
I agree.
And that match was just terrible because Jesus Christ, Ronda Rousey. What?
I'm not touching that.
Ronda didn't love the game, so
I'm not touching that topic at all. I'm not doing it.
Ronda was not a real hooper, man.
I'm not doing it.
She didn't love
not a
it.
real
That's not fucking me up. You can have that. She watched this show. You ain't doing that to me.
Want to hear? You know what? No, you love the game too, Eric. I bought 2K. Next match.
No, I said Ronda didn't love the game.
Ronda didn't love the game. Now we can admit that. So when I'm saying that the WrestleMania 36, everyone thought I was crazy. Then what?
I never said you was.
I never said you. I'm talking to the people. I turned the camera to the people, Eric. You looking at the hard cam. You're doing the wrong thing. Go to camera. Go to angle 7.
Go to camera 10.
This is why we gotta respect the man. What's good, Kofi? What's good, Kenny? What's good?
My God.
But the thing is that Charlotte.
Shout to the Sped Kids podcast.
Now we know after the fact, things happen.
Hold
on.
Boy.
You want my honest opinion on Stand and Deliver? Let me tell you my honest opinion.
Boy.
Just stop. Y'all need to get rid of this 2-night mania and put the real night 1 of Mania back in its slot. Give NXT back night 1.
Boy.
Tired of y'all. I'm tired.
That was better than night 1.
I want all of y'all. No, I'm not even trying to. Matt, listen, I didn't say that. Randy said that. I'm being honest.
I said it with my old chest.
The main event alone was better than night 2. I don't know why y'all doing that, bro. Like, come on, bro.
We're getting night 1
saving
We're getting there. But here's the thing. The last thing I want to say about this. I mean, obviously, we know after the fact, the whole controversy after the fact of WrestleMania weekend, which is the roast they did, and that's why Charlotte's not on TV mostly.
Press wise, they got their ass whooped. So they did no.
Wait,
no
was this televised or something? Like, were we able to see it?
It
was taped. Yeah,
I believe so. I believe they put.
I'm talking about the roast. Was it?
It was taped.
It was taped. I think it was supposed to go on Netflix, but I don't know.
Not no more. But so that's why Charlotte's really not on
What did
TV.
you expect from a roast? I'm really lost with that.
They
But
wanted to continue making money off the weekend. They did one gimmick too much, Shen, and that's what happened.
You make it sound like it's the brawl for all. Man, damn.
Listen, that was more so TKO trying to milk WrestleMania and getting more goose for the gander. But
So when they finally release them tapes, probably 8 years from now, it's gonna be a high seller. It's gonna be like one night stand all over again.
All I'm gonna hear is like Nia Jax trash Charlotte and her 2 divorces. I'm just like,
Well, shit,
3
better.
But
I didn't know he still got beef like that.
3 divorces. But yeah, I just no thank you.
That's
a fact. That's a fact. They believe.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
let's move on because I couldn't really get my point across.
Charlotte.
So I'll let you take point on this one, man. What you want?
Main event.
Wait, we ain't finished the rest of the thing. Okay.
Nah, because y'all was sitting there talking about other stuff. Main event. Main event was it did what it was supposed to do.
So basically, we all predicted what was going to happen.
We all knew what was going to happen already. But the thing, and here's the masterclass genius of Paul Heyman, at least.
And Triple H.
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman.
Exactly. Paul Heyman.
Paul Levesque.
Paul Heyman.
And Paul Levesque.
Heyman sit there. Heyman, because you gotta look at it this way. Roman has had creative control over most of his story since he's returned a couple of years ago. So him and Heyman have masterclassed this whole story. And here's the callback. Remember 39 where Cody told Roman that you're going to be alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Solo's going to leave you. Jimmy's going to leave you. Jay's going to leave you. And eventually Heyman's going to leave you. Now we have Roman Reigns where he is by himself. He is the tribal chief alone. Now, who do I feel bad for in this whole scenario? I don't feel bad for Roman Reigns.
I feel bad for Sami Zayn because where's he?
No, because Sami is not really a part of that story. I feel more so.
Even though if I'm Jey Uso, I got my head on the swivel. What's good, Boston?
I feel more so bad for CM Punk.
I don't need that match to bleed the Soul Ruka. I've been there.
I said for me, JC. For me.
I feel more.
I called it though. I called it. I feel more
so. Okay. I feel more so bad for CM Punk.
Why?
Oh my god.
Yeah, why?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I do.
Are you fucking kidding me? He's the reason all of this is happening. Are you
right?
Not really.
Yes, he is.
Nah.
Which match you talking about, boss?
We talking about the main event.
I'm talking about him. What is he talking about?
That's what we talking about right now. That's what he came in
I
on.
thought he was talking about Sol Ruka. I don't know what he was talking about. I don't feel bad for CM Punk. He started all of this shit. You heard Heyman on Pat McAfee. He's the reason for all of this.
I don't feel bad for anybody. I feel bad for us.
Thank you.
Let me put it this way. Y'all talking about this masterclass shit. This was the most spoon-fed thing we could. What? Like we saw the writing on the wall 2 months ago. What are you talking about?
That's true.
What you want to know? If I'm gonna get to the point of this WrestleMania, because look, night 2 was fun. There were some dud matches in there. I feel bad for Bayley getting slapped.
I do feel bad for Bayley.
I don't.
Then you got no heart.
I do have a heart.
We'll get to that in a second. But
you ain't got a heart.
This theme of WrestleMania for me,
I'm the hitman heart.
The WrestleMania of the past few years have not felt like WrestleManias for a wrestling fan like myself. It feels more like these WrestleManias are being curated to people who don't follow the storylines week to week, but more so follow the highlights week to week. The people who are just kind of casually watching it or like not are dedicated fans of the show. Because a lot of these storylines have been spoon-fed to us. Like there hasn't been as much nuance as we want to say. Like we give credit to certain things being slightly different, but you have to compare it to what we've been used to for the past decade, right? We've been getting a lot of like pity storylines, a lot of half-ass storylines, a lot of back and forth, 50-50 booking stories. And you can argue it's been going on even longer. We're just giving the company more credit for putting in a little bit more effort, which they should get more credit, but like, come on now. If you didn't see the ending of this match 2 months ago, I don't know what to tell you. They just crafted the scene, bro. They crafted the scene. Like you appreciate the cinematography.
Antidote.
You appreciate the cinematography of what had happened, right? But we all called this some time ago. I'm not going to call this a master class. I'm going to say I'm glad you guys stayed consistent.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing about this whole thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I think we can all agree here. All the multi-man, multi-women matches that weekend were exactly what they were supposed to be.
Good.
No, the tag match wasn't. At least the women's tag match wasn't.
I'm not. Well, outside of like
that was
tag
nice
team,
too. I just want to throw that out there. That was nice
outside of tag team matches, I'm talking like the triple threat matches, the women's triple threat match, the main event triple threat match, like those. Because everybody was so worried about the triple threat matches, if they were going to be what they were supposed to be, and it did make sense. The main event, yes, the main event is consistent. It's we've seen it, yes, and Bostic is right. Most younger fans and casual fans aren't smarks like us, which is true. And Tyler, unfortunately,
real shit.
We ain't the target audience.
All right, I ain't gonna hold you up. Bob said
that's the best.
We do analyze and we analyze and overanalyze. What he's saying is like
I agree with. I just agreed with him. I said it's not made for us.
Yeah, it is. That's it.
Years hasn't been made for us. It doesn't mean that the reason why I'm going to say we're not the target, like you're going to say we're not the target audience. I don't agree with that. And I'm not going to agree with that statement for the end of time, because at the end of the day, if we weren't the target audience, they wouldn't be bringing back as many part-timers as they've done. They wouldn't be raising the rating of these shows as many times as they've done. They wouldn't allow them to swear as often as they have. They wouldn't be doing half of the stuff that they did if they weren't trying to appeal to a wide audience. Kids are regardless, but the majority of the people that are being appealed to in this, it's not just kids. They're trying to appeal to literally everyone, and that's fine. The only reason why they're going with the storylines that they're going for is because they're going with the stories that attract the most attention generally. They're trying to get as many people to watch as possible.
Because we didn't see The Undertaker.
Time people bring this up to me, they use it as an excuse. It's not an excuse, because if you really wanted to appeal to the audience of, like, say, children, which is what everyone keeps saying with the kids, right? If that were the case, we would be still getting shit that was similar to 2010's Raw.
Oh, hell no. I don't
to the special guest era Raw. They had the Muppets on Raw, Eric. The programming is nowhere near as corny at that time.
Charlotte
was back then.
Charlotte was about to be a part time.
Well, Charlotte need to go ahead and just retire. But
wow,
when you win that many damn world titles, I mean, really, what is
I don't say that. I don't say that out of
Tyler's uncle will be happy that you said the word retire.
I'm not saying that out of animosity. I'm saying that because Charlotte has nothing left to prove.
Except,
she has nothing left to prove.
I'm not gonna hold you. I talk shit even more.
Except to see Bianca can beat her.
She has nothing left to prove, bro.
Yo, Stone Cold almost killed some lady in the front.
That was funny. That was funny. You know, she sold it. She sold it, but it was funny as hell.
What are we doing?
Austin was
hold on. We getting off topic here.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, Tyler. The main event, yes. If you didn't see what was going to happen, even a few weeks leading up to it, even if it as late as 2 months, as early as a few weeks, if you didn't see what's going to happen, then hey, it is what it is. But I also agree with Mike because now. I also agree with Mike because Mike is right. You know, the kids that are just now starting to
kind of learn the politics and everything behind, wrestling and how it works and the creative, they start to see these things. You know what I'm saying? We already saw this already. We've seen this. Most of us have lived through 4 different eras of wrestling. So I get it. I get the frustration. Hey. I get the frustration.
Yeah.
Relax, GC.
I get the frustration.
Right,
I get the whole, it was spoon fed. Most of these feuds were spoon fed to us, if you really want to be honest.
He's just exhausted from the bloodline storyline from game.
But now that storyline is over.
It's
now.
pretty much over now.
It's
over. It's over, but in all realness, you can't sit here and tell me that you're not more intrigued knowing that Paul Heyman's creating this new variation of the fucking the what's the fucking shit called? The Dangerous Alliance. That's what Becky's about to be added to that. We clearly
and I don't want to see that.
Yeah, but that's pretty much like going down the road. But sticking on the topic of WrestleMania, because like overall, in terms of the main event, it did what it was supposed to do. I will say, in terms of the match itself, the guys did perform, because I do want to put this in a bow. The guys definitely did their shit. Roman definitely showed out that spot where he kind of like him and Seth kind of like the pedigree, the spear into the pedigree, or like one of those moves that got into the guillotine.
They broke them big ass fucking them tables that's unbreakable. They destroyed them fucking table.
I'm not gonna be able to get that point. I'll put it to you like this, Eric. As we move into night 2, I'm not upset over bloodline exhaust. I'm not upset over any of those things. What I'm upset about is the fact that the excuse people make is, well, it's always simple, or it's always this, it's always that. If professional wrestling is storytelling, right? And professional wrestling is supposed to be taken seriously as a form of storytelling. If you judge a lot of what the company does based off of storytelling, a lot of times it comes across as subpar, not because they aren't trying, but because when you have that much success behind you, you're on top of the world, you're doing this and that. Every time that is on top, they get lazy. And they decide to not try to push certain boundaries or get the best out of storylines because they're going to make their bottom line regardless, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're on the top of the world. You don't try as hard because you already have everything. So so the laziness trickles down into every aspect of what you're doing. Not to say they aren't putting in any effort. What I'm trying to say is that, look, even if you make the argument that this is for the younger audiences having their own intelligence insulted is a problem in itself. And you can see that in the way that TV has changed over the past 30 years. There was a point in time where younger audiences were allowed to look at fucking SpongeBob. There was a point in time where the entire family could watch SpongeBob and everyone could get a joke out of it, and it would give the show's replay value because there were so many hidden nuggets of things that were in the shows. When you cater to what you think the audience gets, you end up getting something that's completely and utterly mindless and pointless, which is what a lot of younger television shows end up being nowadays, right?
True.
So what I'm trying to say is when everyone says it's a different era, it's this or that, I feel like that's a fast-ass excuse to basically say, let's not worry about it. It's not a big deal. When in reality, it's like, dude, you're telling me a child right now with better education, with better technology, can't understand the same things that you understood when you were 6, when you were 8? Why does the quality of their television have to go down because people think that that's what a child should be accepting in the year of 2025?
Because times are sensitive, bro.
Times are, but you complain about that sensitivity all the time to the point where you try to raise your kids to be better so that they can handle the world better. Yeah. It's as if you don't want to show your kids a show from back in the day. That's like saying, you know what, times are different. It's a new era. I can't show my kids the original Proud Family, or I can't show my kids That's So Raven, or I can't show my kids like Family Matters or something, and just have them watch it and have them watch a show and try to understand certain things. If anything, why wouldn't you test your kids to see if they could understand concepts? That's what I'm saying. In the time right now where they have the ability, but that's how our parents were to us. Didn't that cause a lot of problems?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. What Mike is saying is true. Our parents were like that. That doesn't mean that we didn't still sneak behind their back and watch South Park or Family Guy or American Dad and all this. So we still watched it.
Right, and the fact that you were yearning for more because you weren't even fully settled with what you had. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying show your kids more adult stuff. What I'm saying is that if there is a reason to do better, why wouldn't you do better?
But in all realness, the times is different because it's more accessible for our kids. So a lot of so that's why I agree with what Mike is saying as far as like the kids are not smart marks like how we were.
They
I
don't have,
think their tolerance for caring is a lot different than ours.
Ty,
and
close
that
it
Like
out.
we
Close it out, Ty,
cared
close it
more
out.
about the details. They don't.
it's fair if their tolerance for caring doesn't matter as much, but you also have to give them a chance to try, is what I'm saying. And if you're just giving them the baseline stuff and not trying to challenge somebody, they're only going to stay at the baseline. Going into night 2, though, you mentioned the triple threat with the women.
Mhm.
Best match of the entire WrestleMania.
Yes.
100%.
Two,
Yes.
they all outperformed expectations. And
Yes.
3, not only did the right person win, the right person almost killed somebody. Let me talk about that in
Yeah.
a second. Yo, Rhea almost got snapped into 2 people of that moonsault.
And she got that shiner too.
I'm glad that Io got the win. She also ended up pinning Bianca, which I wasn't expecting. She got the win, and I'm followed through on that story because I'll be honest with you. If they didn't let Io win, that would have been a bad look for Io. Now she looks like an equal among the two. She actually looks like.
Were you happy because of the finish, or were you happy because of the match? I need that answer.
Both.
The perfect harmony of wrestling is both. When the finish and reach on the same standard, you can't get any better than that. And honestly, the whole point of that match should have been to go, okay, Io is on the same level as these two. You can't count her out. And they did that. And that's a victory that matters. You got to make
that was a question. That was the question.
No, you see, here's where we go back to the thing. To us, we know that's the truth. We know they're on the same level, but the perception to the main audience is that look at what Bianca's done. She was undefeated going into WrestleMania. Rhea dominated the women's division for 2 years and was already a strong character before that. Io's career has been being somebody's understudy. She became a champion, then she lost it, and she was finding herself again. So she hasn't had as dominant or consistent a run at the top. So you can't blame most of the audience for going, yeah, Io's cool, but I don't know if she's going to beat Rhea or Bianca. And then she beat them both. And that's what you now there's no doubt. There's no asterisks.
I got a controversial question here.
What's the controversial question?
Because I've been listening, not listening. I've been looking at clips of people on different podcasts. And one podcast said, "Why did Bianca take the pin?" And it pissed them off.
It was more. It meant more for her to take the pin.
It definitely did mean more.
She was undefeated, and she got pinned.
Right. I think we all agree that Bianca should have took the pin.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad she did.
This is not a.
Who mad about it?
Anti.
My dad.
I'll
talking to me.
So this is not a
yo GC, relax, dog.
This is not a
anti-black thing. This is not an anti-woman thing. It's more so what makes sense. Yes, because we know what happens when it comes down to certain people.
Welcome back, GC. I appreciate you.
Yo, he has to relax.
Welcome back.
That was
we missed you, dog. We missed you.
No, it's not. Look, if you really want to bring it back, Eric, to a time, Bianca being undefeated and taking the victory makes Io's win that much more credible. She could have beat either of them, and it would have worked. But the fact that it was Bianca helped. Now, as far as should Bianca have lost, look, you can make the argument that Bianca could have lost at Mania in previous years. Obviously, not the Sasha situation, but there are other
definitely not the Becky one.
You can make the argument that Bianca should have lost to Asuka years ago. Regardless of the situation, Bianca losing doesn't hurt her because if you go 4-0 at Mania, your record is 4-1 now. You're still the strongest person, the strongest woman at Mania. I don't think anyone has a better record than
Bostic Mike said that
Johnny.
I don't know how he feels about it now because we haven't. I guess we haven't really spoke about it. But he was saying prior to the match, before it happened, that Bianca's streak was kind of like building up to be like the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania.
Seriously?
He did say that. He said it was building up to be like one of those kind of things, and he didn't think Bianca at the time was going to lose.
Okay, what's up, Kyle?
What up, Kyle?
I disagreed because I felt like prior to this story, one, you could, again, Tyler, I'm going to take something that you said about the other triple threat match. You could see this coming probably a mile away, where Bianca and Rhea Ripley were too focused on each other to think about Io, and they put a lot of emphasis on Io being the lesser of the three. Yeah. So for her to show out and come out the way that she did and to retain that title, yes, I absolutely agree that Bianca should have took the pin. We already seen Rhea Ripley take a pin from Io Sky. If that happens, cool. But it's like we've seen it already. Now you're basically redoing the story of I never lost with Bianca. You beat Rhea. You didn't beat me.
But it was predictable too, though.
Right. So with Bianca losing this title, this is a definitive end to it. It's a definitive no. Y'all can't say nothing about me.
That's me, Kyle.
100%.
Should have been me. I'm not gonna lie, it should have been me. But he got it. And you're right. I don't disagree with you there. I do want to address the Michael on this one. I didn't think the triple threat from night one was bad. I'm just saying to call it a masterpiece is a bit much in my opinion because
I never called it that.
Right. Like predictable isn't always bad. As a matter of fact, predictable can be great in most situations. It's just more so when you overhype something that's crazy predictable when it's been telegraphed 2 months earlier. I think that there is a criticism you can have there. As far as this triple threat goes, this was the right outcome. I said it. Io is undefeated in triple threats. Seth is undefeated in triple threats. And we should keep it that way. He said Mania. Keep it that way. Io got what she was supposed to get, and this makes up for. This is good because last year Io was in a title match and she felt like an afterthought in Bayley's absence. Now you can say Io's been in 2 good title matches at Mania, and she's steady in her career. So there you go. Good show. Also,
we must have a Sonic code.
Is he okay?
Anytime.
Is Damian Priest okay?
Bruh,
Let's talk about that.
I enjoyed that match.
That was a hell of a match.
I enjoyed.
Shout out to them.
That was a hell of a
dude
match.
from the Bronx and the Legends of Zelda.
Damian Priest is an underrated seller.
No, now Matt can let it go.
What?
Matt can let it go.
Yeah, Ty definitely did say that.
So was that one dive spot that went so bad. Now we got something we could put in front of it and be like, listen, they're good. They're a good 1v1 that they can have. Because you were never gonna let that go. You made us replay that moment how many times?
Mm-hmm. Man was talking about yo, Damian Priest tripping up over that top rope.
I ain't gonna pray it was funny though.
It was funny as fuck though. You can't
Funny, but
watch that shit live. Y'all wasn't on that show. We were live. Me and Stu watched that shit live.
We were live.
And I'm just like, yo. Oh, just down bad.
They avenged it, bro. I'm happy.
They did.
No, they avenged it. I was shocked that the announce table got finally someone finally put someone through the new announce tables because I was like,
that was through the triple threat.
They did that during the triple threat, the main event of night one.
No, you're right in that we finally see these things break because I haven't been able to see them break. And I always question how the hell they're going to break with that new solid foundation. But
they're such a nice table. Why would anyone want to break it?
I always thought that like when Braun Strowman and whatchamacallit and Jacob was facing each other, they was gonna be the first ones to do it. I was like, hey, it might as well just happen at WrestleMania because it definitely wasn't gonna happen on regular TV.
That was probably the best Claymore I've ever seen in my life. The Claymore into the folded chair. That was
they showed out, man.
This looked like an actual damn street fight.
So take a damn street fight to the damn
I'll give you that. It did.
But then necessarily, you don't always have to go outside the arena to do a street fight.
Kyle, I agree with you, but until then, play shut your mouth.
Yo,
Yeah, you don't.
tie it with the shits today.
I'm sorry. Listen, I agree with them. I think they should go outside. We got to see that at Jobber Slams. We got to see that at a couple different things. I would love to see a street go outside.
Darius and
Roddy and Goldust.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But that went on throughout the whole night, though.
Yeah.
It was amazing, though.
I do need one of those to go outside, but until then, just throw snowballs and shut your mouth. That's the closest we're gonna get to that.
Next match on night 2. The fatal 4-way.
Perfect.
Second best match of the night to me.
I called it. I fucking called it.
We all did.
Wanted to believe. Nobody wanted to believe.
We
in
all
Dirty
did.
Dom. I've been saying it for the last 3 years.
Ty, did we not say the fact that Dom was going to win?
I don't think.
I said for 3 years. I've been saying that boy is special. Nobody wanted to listen. I got chewed out pause on Facebook and Jabba Kids podcast group about how Dirty Dom is not going to live up. He whack. He trash. That boy is good.
What happened?
Do you feel him?
Special.
Do you feel him, sir?
Do you feel him?
What?
Do you feel him, sir?
You gotta relax. That was crazy. You gotta relax.
Tell that to Cody Rhodes. Do you feel him, sir?
Look, I'm not. Y'all gonna have to stop on this dirty.
I agree with you. I agree with you because
Michael Cole switched up crazy though.
No. Hold on. Dominic Mysterio naturally got himself over.
And you know what was crazy? This man went up the ramp with the title and ran back down the ramp past Finn and raised his head. That man is a menace.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
He's special.
Yo, I
said what I said.
His new list
live
without Liv Morgan, Chicken Nuggies, and the Intercontinental title. I can't.
Hey, listen, man. I appreciated it. I rooted for Dominic Mysterio. I think it was time for Braun Breaker to move on.
Well, we know we're about to
and
move
what
on.
a way to move on. What a way to move on.
You feel me?
Can we get the street trash out of here now? Can we get the regular version? Actually, keep Carlito. Can we keep Carlito old back, please?
Yo, he's hilarious, bro.
Listen, they got JD back, so that's
he's like the Puerto Rican R-Truth. It's hilarious.
I think it was time for him to move on. Penta was there because it was his first WrestleMania. I knew he was.
And Penta killed too. Like everybody killed in that match.
Not
everybody.
It was perfect.
Wait. Shout out to Ray Phoenix too on his first WrestleMania. He did good too. That boy was special too.
I feel bad he had to lose in his first match, but I understand.
Why? It's Chad Gable. I'm not upset.
No, I know.
It's not Chad Gable.
No, it's not so much.
Look, Chad Gable is doing his best Owen Hart and Kurt Angle impression.
That's not Chad Gable. That's Grande
Americano.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but I do see what you're saying about
it's a
Owen.
Starbucks order.
Kurt.
I feel him losing to either person in singlet isn't a problem. What?
Fucking hate him.
Definitely his wife and missionary that night with the tendies on the stomach and a cup of sauce on the forehead. What?
That's crazy.
I hate him. He's a menace.
Next match.
Am I sure it's Ty OK in the comments?
But
that's how he be sounding.
Am I not lying though?
What did you say?
His best Owen Hart and Kurt Angle impression.
It is good. I said it earlier. I'm happy for Chad Gable. I wish he was in a different position right now. I feel like they're putting him on ice in a certain way. But I'm happy he's making the most out of it. Who asked if I was okay? Wait, what?
No. Like the way GC's like saying that this last sentence reminds me of like it's Ty OK from Twitter because like he be saying some outlandish shit.
Oh, that Ty. Okay, cool. Wait, what was the next match?
Randy Orton and Joe Hendry.
I didn't see that coming.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Okay, so I have a controversial opinion on this match.
Oh God.
He's mad. I know he's mad.
No,
he's gonna be mad.
Who would you prefer, Ty?
No, I made mention of the fact on the predictions that if Joe Hendry showed up, it would have been awesome. It's not Hendry. I'm happy for Joe. I lost my mind when he showed up because I wasn't expecting it. And seeing Randy mimic Joe Hendry, there's a lot of things that worked in favor for Joe. But what I did want to bring up is I understand why some people are upset on the behalf of TNA. That I do get.
Yeah, I understand that too.
Understand that. For Joe Hendry to do this, great for Joe. It worked in favor for him. For TNA to have their world champion, essentially lose in 3 minutes. Losing to Orton isn't the problem. To lose in 3 minutes, I think if the match had been a little bit longer and more competitive, it would have been a home run all around. So I do understand why some people feel that way.
But did you see the interview that he gave and the reason behind it and everything? Like you can't tell me Joe Hendry's not going to be a WWE guy.
It's not even a matter of him being a WWE guy. It's a matter of him, the fact that what he's done just by being there as a TNA representative, it does a lot for them.
No, when I say that, I think his contract is up by the end of this year or something like that. You can't tell me he's not going to be the next guy to jump ship and sign with WWE.
Wait. But to let me on what y'all are saying, did he not get a reaction?
No, he did.
Of course.
He got a great reaction.
So that's all that matters.
Reaction of the
that is all that matters.
Weekend.
Here's what I'm.
All that matters. That's all that matters.
I even said that. I said this is great for Joe Hendry. I'm saying for the TNA championship, I understand why some people are upset. That's all I said.
Yeah, cool.
Next, Lyra Valkyrie and a returning.
Skip.
Please skip that shit. Block it.
So now I want to know why you don't feel bad for Bailey, because you said
justice for Pamela, man. Justice for
I do feel. Oh yeah, I want to know why you don't feel bad for her too.
Yeah, man. Why don't you feel bad for Bailey in this one?
Because Bailey, I get where y'all going because it was Becky, but I'm like, she didn't need to be in a tag team match. She needed a story.
I agree with you. They didn't need to be in a tag match, but they need to stop booking themselves into corners.
Neither did Becky. She
didn't been one of my either for this whole Mania. It's not. You picked an option that could work. Why did you pick this one? The better option.
First off, I think we all think the real match Bailey should have had was Bailey and Roxanne Perez.
That should have been the match. I don't know how you didn't get it.
They built it up. No, not at Stand and Deliver at WrestleMania. They built it up, and then they just paused it. It came to a screeching halt, and they just threw it away.
And then Roxanne ended up showing herself back to TNA after Stand and Deliver just to challenge Stephanie. It's all
right. So that should have been the match. That was a.
Oh no!
It ain't me, Kyle. That's Matt. You gotta talk to.
That was another Spider-Man meme match.
Look, I'm over the 4 horsewomen at this point.
Okay, then I will say this: I agree with you. The tag match should not have happened at Mania. Period. I don't know why. If you're gonna have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, especially since they won the belt for next night.
Oh, brother!
That pissed me off. That pissed me off.
Like, why?
I ain't give a fuck.
Why didn't you just have them face somebody else? Why couldn't you have had an actual team face them for the tag team?
You know what? No. Fuck them. You know who should have?
Wow.
You know who should have? I don't care. You know who should have gotten that spot?
Who should have?
Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson.
That's Black Girl Magic. Love it.
That's who should have got that spot because they were already being featured on SmackDown prior to. They were already chasing the women's tag titles. They should have had that. They should have had that tag match. It should have been them. They should have been in the whole #1 contendership tournament. Kyle.
This is strong.
But that's basically what I'm saying. Eric, if you're going to give somebody something, if you're going to give an actual team something,
Kyle, also some up in a couple weeks.
That needs something, yes, it should have been them.
I can understand where you're coming from, Eric. I still would have rather it have been Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, only because they've been overlooked for a year and a half.
That's fine.
Listen, he said he already said fuck them when I said it, so it's just like
let's continue to overlook them. That
hurt. That hurt me. A little bit.
I will remember that. I will remember that. Like
you remember it. I will stick to it.
Eric, this did not work out well for you last time. I'll tell you that much.
It did not work out well for me last time, but it will work. I guarantee.
Oh damn!
It will work out for me.
You should never guaranteed it.
Ability, independent decisions. I'm just saying, you ended up becoming a fan of Baron Corbin, and I got you to crack.
No. You shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. I was never a fan of that man, and I will never be a fan of that.
You
man.
gave him his props though. You gave him his props.
I gave him his props. It doesn't mean I'm a fan of his. Let's cut it. Let's cut it right there.
I'm a fan of Baron Corbin.
And you know what? That is your one flaw.
He can cook. He can cook steak. He can grill.
So you like when another man cooks meat? All right, gay. John Cena, Cody Rhodes.
About
you just admitted that you like when a man cooks meat.
I didn't say nothing about meat. You threw me.
Just said steak. Is steak not meat?
I was talking about the way he grills.
So you like a man grilled meat?
No, I said nothing about you can grill vegetables, sir.
But you didn't say vegetables. You said steak. Steak is meat.
I didn't.
You like a man grilled meat.
All right, you're doing too much, Eric. Okay,
yeah, because I caught your ass. You know you got caught. It's okay. The whole situation.
Okay, maybe that was a flaw. That was a foul on me. You got it.
Yeah, that was a personal foul. Take the ball on the side.
You took it to technical levels. You might need to get ejected. This is crazy.
You took the technical levels because you didn't realize what you said. John Cena, Cody Rhodes.
I'm not gonna lie, Eric. You already won when you said that him liking Baron Corbin was his one flaw. That's a crazy line in itself. But everything else is just that. Come on,
what's
now.
wrong with Baron Corbin?
What's not wrong with Baron Corbin?
It's just funny because Eric is so anti-Baron. I think you just anti-tall people at a certain point because all the people you hate are over 6 foot. Over 6 foot.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not true. I accept.
You like 5'11". Then if you hit 6 foot, you have some sort of agenda.
I like Roman.
Punk is 6'1".
We acknowledge him.
I like Seth. Seth is 6'2". 6'1", 6'2". I don't like Raquel Rodriguez.
What?
Raquel Rodriguez is not even 6 feet tall.
She about 6 feet.
She's like 5'11".
Yo, with the size of her shoulders, she's wide.
With the side of her shoulders, she looks like Shaq. But anyway,
based on what Jay told me,
the side of her shoulders, she look like John Gonzalez. She looked like she shaves her chest. I said that.
Main event, Cody versus Cena.
That's a foul.
I said what Grizz couldn't say. I said it. She looks like she shaves her chest.
Wait, that's two personals. You got to go sit down on the bench.
Wait, what?
John Cena, Cody Rhodes.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So I'm happy we're here because
this is the real champion.
You know what? I like the fact that Cena's trying to spin it that way. Don't get me wrong.
I'm about to be pissed off. I know I am.
This main event was. There's no way around it. It was awful. And I wasn't gonna make a way around it. But there are two things I want to highlight from this main event that really pissed me off about Mania. Number one, the fact that Travis Scott is the asterisk on Cena breaking the trash.
Yeah.
Get that out. I don't care where this storyline goes. As a solo moment and as a continuous part of a different story, don't fuck. Number two,
Travis Scott.
I know somebody else gonna bring up the Rock element, so y'all can have that. This is the element I want to bring to the table.
I don't care about the Rock element. It ain't even needed.
So you know how for the longest time I've been saying that technically Cody Rhodes has been a double champion for.
You're right.
Sure.
And they retired it when Cena won it.
Yeah, they just rescinded it. Recently, and I know some people feel like, well, I treated Cody Rhodes as a single champion the whole time. Look, I get people that would honestly empathize with y'all because they made this man hold one belt. But what a lot of people don't remember, that one belt was supposed to represent two. They never officially unified it. So technically, when Cena won the championship, he's actually an 18-time champion. And I know that there's credence to that because they had to rescind it right after he won.
You know what? I
GC,
know what you're talking about.
I got me and Yim in the match, by the way.
I know what you're talking about, but I think they weren't supposed to rename the belt. I think the dude on Monday Night Raw, the new announcer, I think he just messed up.
No, Eric.
No. They legit retired the Universal Championship.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Because I actually had to check this. Yes, Wikipedia was saying it for a while, but people be like, oh, Wikipedia. The WWE website, up until a few days ago, had the Universal Championship as still an active title on their website.
You can edit Wikipedia, you know that, right?
No, we're not talking about Wikipedia. We're talking about actual WWE website.
You just acknowledged, by the way, Matt. But I'm talking about WWE's website. The website acknowledged it as an active belt, which meant that for a year, Cody Rhodes was a double champion. That's the whole reason why I said there were 3 world titles in WWE. They had to rescind it after John Cena won because technically Cena had won 18 world titles. Yeah. Because if you win the belt, you win 2. You don't win 1. It's just represented by 1 singular belt. I know most people treated it like it was an undisputed title anyway, but the fact that they had to go and fix it themselves shows me somebody
basically Tyler's point.
Yo, that is a marijuana fact. That is crazy.
Hey man, I listen. Somebody got to care, and I care.
So Cody's a 2-time heavyweight champion.
Basically.
Well, now no, because they rescinded it. They said now that the belt was retired the minute Cody won. They just rescinded it recently. So before that, he was a 2-time champion. Now they took it away. It's not recognized.
So basically, Cody got screwed
not once but twice.
Sure,
sure. So Bret Hart is what you're telling me.
No,
but
yes.
Give me Bret Hart vibes.
So here's my thing about the match, right? I know a lot of people don't like the match. I didn't like it either.
I hated it.
I like how,
but John told y'all. I think more people didn't like the fact of it wasn't a lot of action. John told y'all, I don't have to. No, not us. I'm talking about other people. I think more people complained about the lack of action in it, which is a fair argument. But the man told y'all exactly what he was going to do. He said, "I'm not going to wrestle you. I'm just going to take this title. That's it."
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think, Eric, I think you might be bringing up a point from the internet, but I think the real point is that I think people thought that this match was going to be as exciting as the past couple Mania main events, and that's just not the case.
But it didn't call. But to me, the story didn't call for that.
Here's
why. No. Here's why.
Okay.
One, we've never really seen what a heel John Cena looks like. Not in this iteration of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you don't know what kind of moveset you're going to get. You don't know. We didn't even know we were going to get the Black Arena effect, which I love, by the way. We didn't know what we were going to get out of this particular John Cena. We weren't going to get shoulder tackle, you know, or the plex with the. I mean, but it wasn't. I
didn't want it, but we got it.
It wasn't John Cena-esque. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you saw more of a slower pace match. You saw a match where basically, if you look at it, Cody Rhodes had to carry most of that match. If you really want to be honest about
We're not surprised about that. He can't wrestle. Just throwing that out there.
But the thing is that John didn't have to wrestle. That's the point of the whole story.
Yeah, John already told you that he didn't have to wrestle.
He's not coming there to get over the crowd. He's not coming there to pop the boys. He's not doing that.
No, Eric. No. You use pop in the right context. It's not gay. All right, listen here. Okay, let me explain. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Let me explain. Okay, you want to know why this match didn't resonate with a lot of people? Honest to God. First of all, the build to it outside of Cena's initial heel turn was subpar. And two,
I like Cody's promos.
Cody's promos were good, but I'm saying in terms of they could have extended it for a longer period of time and gave it a lot more heat than already did. That's one that I want to say this. to remember, and I mentioned this throughout the podcast, there are some people who do not treat WrestleMania the way that we would. And for some people, WrestleMania is like a giant concert.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people coming to watch this as an event on a Sunday because it has a certain type of night. And WWE has done a good job at getting people to care about WrestleMania the past 3 years, right?
Good Lord.
One of the things that people have to remember, some people treat WrestleMania like Coachella. If you had 2-3 straight good Coachella concerts and then you had a Coachella that felt flat, people are going to shit on it. Okay? The reality of your situation is that, look, Cena versus Cody on the billboard, on paper, big money match. That's what should main event WrestleMania. The match itself was methodical. I didn't think it was slow. I thought it was methodical, the top point. But here's the thing. When you compare it to last year's Mania main event with every run-in known to man, so many triangle buttons. When you compare it to the Mania before that, with all the run-ins and all the drama and everything in between, that's what people are doing. It's a recency bias. You're comparing it to a previous Mania where people said last year's Mania was the greatest main event of all time. This main event was going to have a hard hill to climb anyway. What John Cena did the whole match was wrestle old school, which is fine for us because we like wrestling. For some people, wrestling, your point. Now I'm using your point against you that you brought up earlier to use against me. This is how karma works. Some people, wrestling is the worst part of pro wrestling. A lot of it to them is the spectacle and the shenanigans and the tomfoolery and the boomafoo. I think that's the word.
The buffoonery.
And the
That's what you're trying to say?
So the point being is that when people
That's so Haitian. Oh my God.
people aren't getting their when they don't get their shenanigans and drama, they're disappointed. It's sort of like what Bully Ray said years ago, even though I don't like quoting this guy that much. There's
He's
people,
the national treasure.
a lot of people in the crowd don't care for wrist slaps. Bring out the weapon. That's what people do. And to be honest with you, Eric, the match didn't even piss me off. It was Travis Scott being in the match.
Thank you.
So
That's all that pissed me off.
I'll address that. I'll address that too. I agree with you guys. I don't think that Travis Scott was needed for that. I understand the fact of.
He wasn't needed, period.
I understand the
At
fact
all.
of.
Not even for freaking elimination chamber.
No, let ego, let ego.
I understand the fact that it was a receipt given back for the busted eardrum. Understandable. Was Travis Scott needed to make a whole entrance during this match? No.
No, that's fine, actually. You know what the problem?
I hate that fucking song now.
No, I don't like beans either, but hear me out here.
That's what he said?
No, it's Fiend, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Like, stupid. I hate the song. I hate it.
I'm trying to make.
We need a more weekend. We need a more weekend to carry the weekend.
Yes, absolutely. But go ahead.
Travis Scott being in the match wasn't the problem. Travis Scott being the defining factor of the match was the problem. Because you've had plenty of Mania main events with multiple run-ins before. True. The issue is you're missing one of the main people in the story, The Rock, who wasn't there, who could have been the defining factor in Cody losing, and that would have made sense. If you're comparing it to what we got, even if you don't like it, Matt, it would have made more sense had it been The Rock than Travis Scott. But the fact that you had Travis Scott come out, and this is even worse because remember, what's his name? Killer Cross's promo, Karrion Kross's promo that he cut afterward. That match genuinely felt like they were trying to go viral more than makes sense.
It did though. It went viral.
And that's what a lot of people care, the attention. That's why I'm saying if you take away the substance out of something, this is what you get. That is what that main event was. Cena did what he was supposed to do. Cody did what he was supposed to do. But why is that the moment everyone has to remember? They shouldn't have put it. Point blank period.
It shouldn't. But as we conclude the recap, because I know we're kind of running out of time in terms of talking about Post-Mania. I guess we'll touch upon that next week. What was your overall grade of Mania itself? Like if you had to grade Mania, for me, it was 7.5 for me.
7.
Okay. What about you, E?
Eric?
Bueller.
He went and got his Wendy's.
Bueller.
I got Pizza Hut.
So what's your grade, Matt?
What's your grade?
6.
6?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go. I mean, whatever, Okay.
How do you
I'm not
feel?
gonna hold you. Last year WrestleMania might have been the best WrestleMania I've seen ever.
Would you have been okay if the theme song for last year's Mania was Beans?
Nah, I hated that. I hate that fucking song, man.
Why?
We need
It's
the
stuck
weekend
in my
back.
head.
We need
So
the
I
weekend.
watched it at my job, right? I did it I did a program for the kids so they could watch WrestleMania.
Yep.
And now I hear that song every day. I fucking hate that song.
Hey man, it's earworm. You know what I'm saying? That's what music is now. Earworm.
But they all are saying this one thing. And I'm proud that they got to see it. No, they say 4 letters, 1 word.
Yeah.
I love that they do that now. So I'm good. I got what I needed for the weekend. So I'm not mad. All in all, I had fun with WrestleMania as a whole, but is it the best? Is it a 10? No.
Nah, it's not a
9?
10.
Hell no. Nah, it definitely was.
So E, what is your grade? Because we couldn't get you.
Yeah, my fault. I had to step away for a minute. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Honestly.
Whoa,
you gave it the highest grade, bro.
Yeah, I was about 7, 7.5. Like
I
I
gave
had
it
a
a
7.
6.
He gave it a 6.
I give it about an 8, 8.5. The presentation itself wasn't bad. There's a couple of matches that really save it for me. Jacob Fatu and LA Knight were very underrated.
They killed it. The women's triple threat match.
The women's triple threat, the main event, Jade and Naomi, El Grande Americano,
Intercontinental Championship match.
Incredible.
The what match?
Sin City Street Fight.
Yeah, the Sin City Street Fight, another underrated match. So I mean, it's not a complete,
and the Fatal 4-Way.
And the Fatal 4-Way. It's not a complete dud to me. It's more so
some moments fell flat.
Yes,
that main event on night 2.
The matches that needed to show up didn't show up. And which is only really one match, which is the main event of night 2. Night 1 showed up and did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Night two to me, honestly, it's not even the whole, John Cena didn't do what he was supposed to do, because that's what most people's complaints are. It's like half is John Cena, half is Travis Scott. I agree with you guys. Travis Scott being there, being the definitive.
The nigga had an interesting.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
I hate that fucking hardcore title. I want to punch him in the face. He has a punchable.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate the whole thing.
I don't understand that, but I understand why he was there. I understand. Even if you would have been like, yo, which he didn't have time to explain.
No, that's
but if he would have went on social media and say, yo, The Rock sent me, it would have made sense. It still would have tied into it a little bit.
Him in general does not make sense, bro.
I like Travis Scott.
You look like them aliens off Men in Black. You have no business being in a WWE ring.
I like Travis Scott. I listen to his music.
You are Kylie Jenner's baby daddy, bro. We don't need to see you.
But the point is that
close it out.
The point is that look, for people that's complaining about, I'm talking to the people that's complaining about the John Cena side of it. John told y'all this second half of this run. He's not gonna have to show up. He's gonna do minimal work. He's gonna do the bare minimum.
26 appearances left.
He just has to show up. Less than that now, but he just has to show up. No, that he's keeping count.
He's keeping count.
He even said it on Monday.
So he's going to be champion for the rest of this year. That's what I'm.
Well, until someone defeats him.
Until someone beats him.
I don't think Cody needs to show up until the end of the year.
So basically, he's not even going to be. He's the way the calendar looks. He's not supposed to be at WrestleMania next year.
I don't want him at WrestleMania next year. I didn't want him at this one. This WrestleMania that just passed.
No. It was needed for this one, but Next
Yeah,
one.
of course, Bear will
So,
tell you.
it's not needed unless you're putting over somebody like a Braun Breaker, maybe, or something of that nature.
I don't think he's gonna stick around.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I'll close Mania. I'll close with my Mania thoughts on this. Yes, I agree. NXT was the best show of the weekend.
But
It was.
But that's historically been proven for a while. I honestly, to sum up everything how I feel with Mania, I want more Manias that honor the roster and the fans that are there week in and week out than Manias that are made to get the most attention. And I think I'll stick with that for the rest of my wrestling time.
Which means, TKO, stop pricing the real fans out. So because the prices this year was ridiculous.
That's unfortunately that's happening across all sports, and it's not going to stop until people are smart enough to stop feeding the money. It's all about that A-Rap money. Sporting events are now guided events for the elite. I get it with the odds, man. But I would rather, I'd rather think that actually fair for the people who want to watch week to week and for the roster that have been working once a month to get to that point than Mania that's about going viral.
Honestly, I don't even want to see Cody as champion again.
Not gonna lie, didn't care about Hank and Tech winning. Hey now. Hank and Tech
Sim and
deserve
that
it.
other guy, yeah, Frank Sim and that other guy gotta go to SmackDown.
Frank Sim are made for SmackDown. I'm happy that they did.
Eric, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I didn't want Cody to be champion for the entire year, and now I'm even more upset because that's how it ended. So thank you for audience who said that Cody Rhodes was a great champion when his reign was boring. Thank you for that.
And it ended in a dud.
It was not
because I know you gotta go. We
all.
gotta keep it PG. But E, do you have a match of the week?
First you tie.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go basic here.
Box, man.
I'm gonna go basic. You know what? Let me show some love to
Alberto
Shawn
Del
Michaels.
Rio was a champion. You really gonna say that?
Alberto Del Rio is currently a champion in AAA. Which,
I'm just saying.
He
was a boring champion.
You got a point. There are levels to this. You know what Del Rio was as a champion? Toxic waste.
Thank you.
I can call Cody Rhodes boring and acknowledge that Del Rio was worse. That does not mean that Cody Rhodes is a significantly better champion. It just means that he's a better champion. But it
so I got a BOGO deal for you guys this week with the
buy
BOGO.
one get one for
exactly.
Yeah, you've definitely been in Mayberry for way too long. That is crazy.
You never heard. First off.
That is wild.
First off, you ain't never heard of BOGO outside of the South.
Payless.
So Payless wasn't in New York. Payless was on Hillside on Queens. My IHOP.
My point exactly.
So how's that Mayberry?
I'm just saying that's a Mayberry reference.
But if okay, whatever. I'm not getting into this with you. So
you just making Matt happy the fact that
GC is coming. GC is coming soon, like a Kevin Hart movie. I'm telling you, it's coming soon.
He can't wait to dance on Tony Khan's grave.
Oh man!
So I'm
working on that.
So what is your deal?
Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. Jesus Christ, 25 and 26.
Oh,
watch both.
Both of them.
Which one was better though?
25.
All right. Okay.
Question for you, Eric, because WWE in the lead up to WrestleMania did a whole playlist of the greatest matches in Mania history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at 1 and Bret Hart and Stone Cold at 2.
Disagree with that.
Do you agree with that, Eric?
No.
The submission match at number 2?
Yes.
Can't rewatch that shit. Can't rewatch that shit.
I don't know if that's number 2. It's top 5, but I don't know if it's number 2.
Over Owen Hart and Bret Hart is fucking cynical. I'm just throwing. That's just my opinion. It's fucking cynical.
I don't know if that's number 2. I think
that's my that's my first WrestleMania. It's sympathetic for me.
I don't know who I would have at number 2. I think Shawn has the top 2 WrestleMania matches.
Wait, over Steamboat and Macho Man?
That's probably 4 or 5.
You putting Bret Hart and Austin over Steamboat and
I did. Did I not just
No one's
say?
doing that. He said,
Did I not just say Bret and Stone Cold is not number 2?
Actually, I would have put Bret and Austin at 1. Believe it or not.
oh,
I'm getting the fuck off. I'm done. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not. See, it's because you're a Bret Hart fan. I'm sick of this.
We can
I'm sick of it all.
debate. We can definitely debate this. Hold on.
No, the fuck we can't. No,
Yes,
we
we
can't.
can.
I would have said
tonight.
Shawn and Bret.
All right, you know, I'm gonna be the adult in the room.
Time.
The fucking Iron Man match.
You're gonna keep saying to me that it's because you hate the bloodline. I was like, no, it's not because of a bias. I'm being genuinely honest. I do think Bret and Steve Austin is the best match at WrestleMania.
No. We just saw Roman and Cody last year. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this with you. Not. I can rewatch that match over and over again. I'm not sitting through a fucking 70-minute Iron Man match. I'm not doing it, bro. How many times did you see that fucking Iron Man match? How many times?
No one even Iron Man match. What are you talking about?
Okay. How many times did you see that? Exactly. How many times did you watch that match?
I've seen Iron Man match more times than I can count.
Wait, which match are you talking about?
Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, the Iron Man match.
I've watched it about 5 times in my life.
I'm about to fuck your shit up right now. Is it better than Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle?
At WrestleMania? I never said
the Iron Man match. Is it better than Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle?
I never said it was.
I asked you a question, Ty. Don't deflect.
He said
no.
My
girl does that shit.
He said no, it's not better. I never said it was.
All right. So therefore, it's not the best. It's not the best WrestleMania match.
Austin and Bret, not the Iron Man match.
I think Savage Steamboat is better, and I think Cody and Roman was better.
Apology? What the fuck was that? What the fuck?
I'm not doing it. I refuse to put that match in the top 2. I'm not doing it.
Austin and Bret, not Austin and Michaels.
Was it even the main event? I don't even remember if it was the main event. I don't think it was the main event.
You know what, man? You know what, man? We're gonna start talking about trying to book WWE post-Mania in the next couple.
Wait, Minnesota came back? Damn.
Yeah, they got the lead.
This man shut up. Said, "Oh,
he's leaving because he gave his match of the week." But next couple of episodes, man, we're gonna talk about. We're gonna start booking it. WWE Post-Mania. Obviously, they're gonna talk about the draft and whatever roster shakeup and who does what, and who should be part of the featured members going into their new season. Because WrestleMania ends, WWE starts their new wrestling season. So this is definitely a different venture for them. Should be fun to see what happens in the next couple of weeks, because we're heading into Backlash in St. Louis, the hometown of Randy Orton. So we already got 2 matches down for that. We got one match confirmed is Randy Orton and John Cena for their last dance for the WWE Undisputed Championship. And
I'm happy for it.
Hopefully we get to see. And then the other match probably is going to be Pat McAfee and Gunther. I don't know how that match is going to go down, but that might be the next match that they book. But with that said, man, we've been on for about an hour 47. It's been fun. It's been real.
What boy got a journey?
It's playoff basketball.
Oh, Sasha Banks.
Oh man, it's been a dope Sunday, man. Dope. Some good conversations. Some back and forth between Ty and Matt. This energy was definitely needed after a week the WWE's had post WrestleMania. So it's been real, man. You can find us on Twitter at @backstage_brawl. You can find us on Facebook at the Backstage Brawl. Like, subscribe on the YouTube at the Backstage Brawl on YouTube. Find us on Instagram at the Backstage Brawl. And this has been episode 175, man. Today we recap Mania. Next week we're back to fantasy booking and then some. And shoot your questions to us, man. Shoot us some questions in terms of topics you want to hear us talk about on the show. You definitely, hit us up on Twitter or on Facebook in terms of what you guys want us to talk about more. Shout out to everybody that came into the chat, man. Shout out to Bostic, aka Johnny of Shop Business. Shout out to GC. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to the Chokeslam Wrestling Report podcast. Shout out to everybody that's watching, man. We're watching through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find us. This has been the Backstage Brawl, episode 175. We'll see you guys next week. Let's go Knicks. Yep, him. We out.
I feel like I'm about to get rid of all my whole paycheck in the strip club with this on. Yes.
All right, guys. It's your boy Hank this week. Hingle McCringleberry, aka the People's Champion, aka the Final Boss. Thumb Thuggin, aka Saw Force, aka Kid Ty. Nancy Bobby Brown, aka BK Matt. We out. Peace.